So this video blog has been inspired by a friend of mine who is coming up to her 1 year recovery from anorexia and is doing amazing work in sort of publicising her recovery and her journey. And it just got me thinking. A lot of girls ask me, a lot of particularly younger girls, maybe but people older, people of the same age as well, ask me, where I get confidence from or how to be more confident, that sort of thing. As a lot of people who know me know that I am confident. I don't dislike how I look aesthetically and that sort of thing. However, this has not always been the case. When I was younger, I grew up on TV, as many of you who follow me already know. I was on a kids' TV show called Byter Grove, and so I grew up in the public eye. Certainly not on a huge scale, but at the time I was on Byter Grove, it was getting 3 million viewers, something like that, maybe more, and it was getting a lot of people watching you. And when I went to school or was out in the street, people would make comment, not necessarily on the way I looked, but it made you feel quite vulnerable. And the years that I was on Byter Grove were from 11 to 18, so literally your whole growing up, all the awkward haircuts, all the dodgy teeth and the spots and the being too fat, being too thin, whatever your issue is during your awkward teenage years, mine were growing up on TV. And that was always quite unique to my peers at the time. However, these days, Twitter, Facebook, just blogs, this YouTube, everything is so open to scrutiny. So even those that aren't in the entertainment industry are almost they're lifted up to this platform to be criticised or to be validated in some way by people giving their opinion on what they're doing and what they look like. I know that the girl Shannon, who I'm talking about, who's coming up to our 1 year recovery, she told me that if people didn't like her Facebook picture, that she felt like horrendous about that. That is quite new to me. That's not something that I grew up with, but it is something. I've got 2 girls. It's something that they're going to grow up with, and it's something that I've had to learn and be aware of and have to think about. And it's massively changed my perspective on how we think about ourselves, particularly as women. I'm going to use women mostly in this, but it's not to say that a lot of this isn't relevant to men, but how we perceive ourselves as women and how we dress and how we look and how we talk about each other is a big deal to me now. And I really, really feel strongly about learning to be kinder to each other and less critical of ourselves. For those who know me closely, I do photography stuff, and often on photo shoots with young actors and models and stuff, we'll have girls in the studio who will start talking negatively about themselves. Oh, I'm too fat. Oh, don't get me this angle. I'm fat. Oh God, I know my thighs are massive. Or oh no, I've got spots on my face. And the first thing that I have to say when someone does works with me on anything, not just on photo shoot type stuff, is that I really do not have that kind of language around me. Because the one thing that I found helped with me when I was younger, I was very self-conscious up to a certain point, up until about, I'd say 21. I think I felt there was like almost a false sense of being cool with myself, but I really wasn't cool with myself if I didn't have makeup on. And then I think as I grew up and I've learned a lot more about myself, I realised that it's just, makeup should be fun. I'm wearing makeup now, as you can see. Makeup, fake tan, hair stuff, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't let people take you to the extreme. Like, it's nice to look good, it's nice to it makes you feel good. There's nothing wrong with it if it is just that, if it's pretend, it's a bit of fun, it makes you feel a bit nicer. It's just little tweaks here and there. If it's that you literally can't leave the house without that, then that's when it becomes a problem, and that's when you need to really assess that and look at why that is. And it's not, I really don't mean that to be judgmental. It's just that you need to look at and work on. If you can't feel good about yourself at all, if you would die, I mean, there was a point with me when I was 13, 14, 15, when I was up until probably 18, I would not have dreamed of going out of the house without full tan, full makeup, full hair, straightened, full nails. I used to have, you know, full manicured nails. If I had stepped out without any of those things, then I would not have felt good about myself, and I would have felt uncomfortable speaking to people. And that is something that I've really had to work on. And one of the major steps for me was cutting out the negative talk. And all right, people might think, well, it's really wishy-washy, wanky stuff. But do you know what? It really works. If you start saying to yourself, even if it's as basic as, I look all right, I'm all right, you eventually start to think, I'm all right. And then you can kind of go from that to, I think I'm quite good looking. And that's fine. And do you know what? We live in a stupid society where if you say you're good looking and you're male or female, oh, who do you think you are? It's big-headed. So what? I think I'm beautiful. I think I'm good looking, and it's so what? There's nothing wrong with it. That's a good thing. Everybody likes different things. It doesn't matter. And I guarantee that there will be hundreds of comments underneath this video telling me how ugly I am and trying to pull me down, which is really sad, to be honest. And it reflects on the people that write that rather than on me saying that I don't think I'm ugly. But it's really it's really come to the forefront for me having girls, I think. And I'm very aware that when I put makeup on in the morning, my oldest will watch me, and she'd say, oh, what's that, mummy? And I explain what it is. Oh, it's mascara, that's eyeliner, that's, you know, whatever. But I always make a point of saying, mummy doesn't need it, it's just for fun, it's just silly, it just, you know. And I don't want it to, you know, take it to the extreme and say I'm going to walk around with no makeup on, because there's nothing wrong with it. I do actually like doing it, and I do think it makes you look better in, you know, our Western world of our Western society's idea of beauty. And I can't say that I'm not affected by that, because I am. But I think there's a balance to be had. And if you can't get out of bed because you absolutely hate yourself, then that's not a good place to be. Obviously, you know, I'm not expecting people to strip bare of all their makeup every day and just be free and all that, because I do think that's too extreme, and I don't think it would make it difficult for you to fit in as well. So I'm not going to say that, but I think we need to start saying to ourselves that you are all right, you're okay, you're not as bad as you think you are. There's always people out there that will think you're amazing. You know, you might feel like you don't feel good about yourself, but there's someone out there that will look at you and think you're amazing. And it should really start from you thinking you're amazing. And if you can do that on a small scale, even if it's just today, just go in, I'm actually all right, I'm not as bad as I think. Or just even not even saying a good thing, even just not saying the negative thing, not looking at yourself in the mirror and going, oh God, I've got spots, I've got this, I've got that. Just going, thinking of something, anything positive about yourself. I like my hazel eyes, I like my ears are all right. I don't know what it is, but my elbow, anything you want that's just a little bit more positive than the negative talk. And it will also benefit you to take compliments as well. I think that's the one thing that, especially English people, Americans, you're a little bit better at doing this, but English people love the self-deprecating talk after a compliment. If someone says you look good, you just tell them everything negative about you just because you feel awkward about it. Try this time, the next time someone gives you a compliment of any sort, just say thank you and move on. It's really hard. Try it. It's really hard at first, but then after a while, it feels better and it's not so negative. Anyway, it's just me rambling as per usual. But you know what? Because Shannon inspired me, I said I would. Well, I didn't say I would, but we kind of talked about it. That I would take my makeup off because I'm really not bothered at all. So I'll just do that as well. Should have probably done that while I was talking. It's not even going to come off because some of the stuff that I'm buying is like welded on. So if that's not because I need it, I'm going to get it off. Okay, hang on. I'm really, like I say, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I'm going to walk around everywhere with no makeup on, but I don't hate my face. It's fine. So I'll try and scrape it off in some half-ditched attempt to do this quickly. Otherwise, I'm going to make me video drag out for like about 3 days, and I'm sorry because I know I talk loads. But I am trying to be positive, so if anyone's watching, you know, I get a lot of girls that tweet me, message me, and, you know, they're looking for a bit of positivity and less of the negativity. Yeah, then hopefully, you know, it will help someone to go, do you know what, this is all make-believe, it's fine, your face is fine, people have normal faces, and they aren't all airbrushed, and they have, like, wrinkles on them, and they have marks on them, and it's fine, it's what normal faces look like. I think we get so accustomed to not seeing normal faces that we just don't know what they look like anymore. Anyway, there is a normal face, all red-eyed and bleary and all that, but it's a normal face, and I like it. So, you know, that's a start. Someone likes it. Good night all, and yeah, be positive and just stop slagging yourself off. Be nice to yourself. Good night.